Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Kentucky priest prepares to auction off some special items to help people affected by the tornado outbreak earlier this month. And an Eastern Kentucky county hosts its first ever Toys for Tots Christmas giveaway, bringing smiles to kids in our region.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Well, good morning to you. It is 6:30 on this Christmas Eve, or it's Thursday or Friday Eve, however you look at it. But here on Mountain News this morning, we are celebrating Christmas. And Brandon, if you're hoping for a white Christmas, just like the ones that we used to know, you're not going to have one.
Used to
is the key word. Yeah,
exactly. So again, I think it's going to be an interesting forecast, to say the least. But I think we're going to see more of a, I don't even say a wet Christmas, but a cloudy and dreary Christmas. But temperatures are going to soar over the next few days. So let's take a look and see what's going on right now. Cold out there across the region, including Norton, Virginia on US 23. No major issues or traffic backups there so far. 19 Ashland and Jonesville, 29 in Jackson. That's our range this morning. A lot of folks down to the south in the low 20s. Frost is a big thing. Get the coffee, make it hot, get it out there, and you'll be in good shape this morning because it's going to be a very cold start to the day. But that's not going to last. Temperatures will climb into the mid-50s this afternoon, maybe even a couple upper 50s in some locations. And then we only drop back to 40 with increasing clouds tonight. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, Kentuckians are continuing to come together to offer support to our neighbors in Western Kentucky. And people with Aspire Appalachia jumped into action after the tornadoes touched down. It is a story of neighbors helping neighbors.
Earlier this year, our community was ravaged by a flood, and so many generous people offered us help.
After fellow Kentuckians helped them, people with Aspire Appalachia in Breathitt County knew they wanted to help and came up with a game plan.
We called Graves County Emergency Management, and we asked them what items they think that we should bring, or they thought we should bring.
Loading up a car earlier this week and headed to Mayfield with supplies including baby formula, extension cords, and storage containers, dropping them off at the fairground in Graves County.
It really seemed surreal to look at the generosity of other people and the supplies that they've offered to the folks in Mayfield.
Through donations, they were able to give more than $7,000 to His House Ministries in Mayfield, that organization helping with food and supplies for survivors.
We also provided $6,000 to Dawson Springs First Baptist Church. Again, in Dawson Springs, they have been leaders in providing food, supplies, and things along those lines.
Sending Eastern Kentucky love to our neighbors. Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News. Well, Aspire Appalachia raised nearly $30,000 worth of funds for relief efforts. First responders from across Kentucky are on the ground in Western Kentucky helping with tornado recovery. Many agencies are making multiple visits. One of the agencies that recently made their way back was Georgetown Police Department, who said that it meant a lot to them to help out.
Obviously, they were very broken, and when I say broken in a sense of they literally lost everything. The town itself was destroyed, so they were very appreciative of all the help that we could give them.
Well, those who have been out west said that TV shows some of the devastation, but seeing it in person is worse, adding that they will continue to make trips to Western Kentucky to help out. A Lexington priest is auctioning off 2 gifts given to Pope Francis. Father Jim Shisco says the funds will go directly to storm relief for Western Kentucky. Now, he brought a bottle of rare Kentucky bourbon and a basketball signed by John Calipari. The Pope accepted the gifts, then returned them so they can be sold at auction.
The Holy Father saw me. One of the first things he asked was, how are the people of Kentucky? How are tornado victims?
Well, he says he plans to visit tornado victims in the coming weeks. The National Guard unit out of Somerset is in Texas training ahead of deployment and will have a nice surprise this week. This holiday season, the military families have an opportunity to spend time with their loved ones before they ship off, but some families were not able to afford the cost of the trip. So Marcy Berry, a military spouse herself, set out to do it and unite loved ones.
I just kept hearing from families that they couldn't make it, and especially those with kids, it was just awful.
Marcy found partners with public officials willing to use their personal time to collect individual donations and get those families to Texas. Well, they say a dog is a man's best friend, but in many cases, a pup is so much more. As the Kreider family in Floyd County is learning this week, Tank, a trained service dog, is one of the tools the Kreiders can now use to help with two of their kids who are nonverbal with autism. The dog helps keep 6-year-old Etta and 4-year-old Marshall safe. Trainers say the most important job Tank holds is monitoring Etta's seizures.
The parents can actually rest and sleep at night because the dog is kind of on duty to kind of be there to alert to a seizure. Until there's a cure, there's a dog.
Well, the Kreiders say they are already seeing feeling a huge sigh of relief as they welcome Tank on to Team Etta, and they are thankful for a community that came together to help raise money to make it happen. One Pike County Animal Rescue has welcomed in a new barnyard friend from out of state. Jordan Mullins has more from 3 Mile Creek Farms and the story behind Snowy, the Christmas cow.
3 Mile Creek Farms has welcomed in a new addition to the family.
This boy, all he asked for Christmas was a cow. And so it worked out perfect when we got to rescue a cow. So he got his Christmas cow for Christmas.
Snowy, the Christmas cow, was named by Elkins, and his 3-year-old grandson, Zay, came to the farm at less than a week old, rescued from another farm out of state.
She come off of a big farm. I think these people probably traded animals or horse traders, basically.
The animals Elkins rescues come from harsh conditions. The Elkins rely solely on special events and donations to feed and shelter them, as well as for veterinary care.
We'll have like our pumpkin patch, our Christmas tree farm, we have vintage markets, we have just any kind of event we can think of, and plus we have fundraisers like Facebook fundraisers and different types of fundraisers.
So Elkins and Snowy are thanking those who give with an open heart.
Honestly, we wouldn't be able to do this without those events and the donations that people send us.
Ensuring these animals are taken care of.
She's got a good life here forever and always now.
And have a good home for many Christmas seasons to come. In Pike County, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Oh, that moo there really got me. What a little cutie. Well, Elkins said Snowy was around 40 pounds when he went to rescue her, and now, a week later, she is well above 100 pounds. Elkins also says, though the work to raise a calf is tough, it is rewarding to see that Snowy is happy and healthy, and man, I really want to meet her. Well, Breathitt County had its first Toys for Tots Christmas giveaway yesterday. Patsy Clare saw her friend bring Toys for Tots to Leslie County, and, well, she wanted to do the same thing for Breathitt. While living through a pandemic is hard enough, Breathitt County has faced other challenges as well. Patsy wanted to help families give their children a Christmas regardless of circumstances.
Asked for 800 kids, you know, for the flood we had in March of this year and stuff. A lot of families, you know, are having a hard time recovering from that and that type of thing. So this is just a small thing that we can do, you know, to help make their Christmas just a little bit better.
Several community members came out to volunteer, including Santa Claus. Parents and kids, full of excitement, started lining up 30 minutes before the event even began. Well, you can't say one name without the other. The Hatfields and the McCoys are two of the most recognizable families in our region's history. Now, both families work together to preserve that history, and as Joseph Payton reports, they want to collect as much of the history as they can and bring it back to where it belongs.
Deep in the mountains of Logan County rests Devil Anse Hatfield, the patriarch of the Hatfield family, during its feud with the McCoys.
He mentioned during the feud that he was going to move so far back in the mountains that they'll never find him, and if they did, he would be able to take care of him before they reached him.
Jackie Hatfield Jr. is Devil's great-great-great-grandson, and the family history is his passion.
This is the bullet holes where Devil actually shot at the pole, Devil Anse did.
His mission? Collect as many artifacts from the feud as possible and bring them here to where Devil Anse last lived.
Not only the properties, but even the relics of the family have gotten out of the family's hands.
The home Devil Anse lived in no longer stands, but the history remains. And now a museum will help preserve the historic pieces of the feud.
We know it's out there. You know, there's a lot of rumors going around that it's all floating around. So I'm trying to find it, trying to collect it, bring it into the museum.
It's funny, though. Nobody knows the absolute truth.
Even when I meet other McCoys and we talk about different parts of the stories, they even have their own version of what happened.
But with both families together,
prime example to the world that we can all celebrate our differences and get along.
This is the start of piecing that puzzle together, something even old Devil Anse might be proud of.
He also tried to stop the feud for many years as well, so I think he would actually be very happy with peace between the families and see no more bloodshed.
Joseph Payton, WSAZ News Channel 3, Logan County.
Well, Hatfield says this site is the only representation of the feud that includes both the Hatfield and McCoy families working together. Hatfield hopes to have the museum open to the public by February, and for anyone who might have relics from the days of the feud, you can contact him through his website, hatfieldmccoy.org.
6:40 here on this Thursday morning, Christmas Eve, and we're going to continue to see those cold temperatures out the door this morning. 27 in Pikeville just went up on the air, 19 Ashland and Jonesville, 29 is the hot spot this morning up on the mountain there at the National Weather Service office at Jackson at the airport. So we're going to continue to see some cold temperatures out there this morning. Bundle up. 10 degrees colder in Harlan and Prestonsburg than it was this time yesterday. 13 degrees in Middlesboro and 10 degrees also colder in Monticello this morning. Your out the door forecast, we are going to feature sunshine throughout the day as that sun comes up here a little bit later on, and temperatures will soar into the mid-50s this afternoon. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. The time is now 6:41. Still to come here on Mountain News this morning. The FDA approves the first ever pill to treat COVID-19, a big step in the fight against the virus.